Howdy and welcome back, YouTube. It's good to have you back. Today I am bringing another build video to you. I'm in the same spot I was nearly 10 months ago. I have some upgrades done to this truck that I'm really happy about. I'm really excited to show you what I've done. This truck has came a very long ways in 10, 11 months. I'm here sitting at the entrance to Chiva Falls. I started out this morning thinking I wasn't gonna get out and do a video, but I figured I should when it's 32 degrees and I just found the snow line. I'm up here now, really excited. I need to test the stuff out I've done before I bring it to you in detail. So I'm gonna get to roll a little footage on that and see exactly how well it works. ago, in this exact location, I came out to this spot to film the start of my build video on my 2010 Toyota Tundra Rock Warrior. Although the video did pretty well in perspective to the rest of my channel, in my opinion, it was a terrible fail. My audio was off, a lot of my color grading was off, and the truck just wasn't up to par yet, and I don't think it really represents the true budget build that I am going for. I'm very happy of where this truck is sitting at its current moment, and as you can see, it performs pretty well on the rocks. I accomplished today what I set out here to do. I wanted to test my clearance, see exactly how much height I have in the rear end now, because obviously I have a high clearance for a bumper. I wanted to take a little paint off these sliders to make sure they hold up. And as far as testing my new audio equipment, my GoPro Hero 10 I think is going to kill it. For many of those with the GoPro Hero 10, I think audio is somewhat in question. A lot of people buy the medium mod, which is 70 or 80 bucks, and I think it's pretty useless. On Amazon, I'm not exactly sure what these are called. I want to call them maybe dead cat dampers or air dampers or whatever, but they seem to work really well. The audio is really crisp. This was a $10 mod versus a $70 or $80 mod, which I think the sound quality coming out of the stock GoPro versus the medium mod is much better. I've seen comparison videos and this thing just kills it. So now switching back to the GoPro Hero 10, I'm gonna take you through exactly what I've done to this truck over the last year, how much everything's costed, and how you can do the same thing on a budget. I'll start by taking you up front here and give you a little breakdown. I'm still pretty much all used parts, all off Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist here in Tucson. I've only thrown a few things on here so far that I paid full price for. Not super happy about that, but what can you do, because there's not a whole lot of availability for these trucks exactly. So starting up front here on the bumper, I've had these pods since the last few times I've made videos of this truck. I picked up this Harbor Freight light bar for 30 bucks brand new on Marketplace, and it's adequate. And the only reason I went with this temporarily, I wanted to go Baja, little expensive obviously, but I got these Alpha Rex headlights and I've heard mixed reviews about them. I think they look stunning, but the only problem is I can't figure out the brights. The brights have not worked since I've installed them. I installed them direction for direction and they just don't seem to want to kick on. So I went out and I bought the Harbor Freight light bar as a temporary headlight adjustment for brights. Being that this is a production line bumper, and as before I stated in the previous build video, I already had this on the truck. I only paid about 500 bucks for it, I think, but it's pretty ugly. It's a Chassis Unlimited. I just find it to be hideous. So I had my cousin build me this front hoop, which gives it a bit more character in my opinion. Look at that dog, she's gonna destroy my back seats. I had him cut an angle in there because I don't have a chop saw yet, in which I have actually been able to borrow one, but I welded it on myself. It's a little fresh paint, it doesn't match, but I'm not the type of person to be concerned with aesthetics. And underneath here, not entirely certain if you can see it, but I have an RCI skid. Now this is one of those things I had to pay for brand new, obviously. These skid plates for these trucks are rather particular because Toyota had the stupid idea of putting the oil filter up top here. So you have to have some sort of access point to that. I don't like it, but I don't have a choice. I entirely built these myself with a bit of help from my good friend Jack, who is also doing the same project. We went with 1 3/4 inch Dom wall on the outside, and 2x2 3/16 on the inside, with just some small outriggers welded to the frame with the 3/16 plate inside of there. And so far they're stout, they have good integrity. I've set them down a couple times today, which I think they held up really nicely. They didn't fold. I didn't expect them to fold because Bailey threw the welds down on the inside of the frame, and if you watch my past video, you'll know he's a pretty darn good welder. As far as wheels and suspension, I'm rocking the same TRD forged wheels. I love these wheels. They have a positive offset, I believe, which is forcing me to rub on my resi cable. You can't quite tell right now, but and speaking of these, the ADSs are holding up fantastic. My cambered upper control arms are still not squeaky. That uniball is just the quietest uniball upper control arm I've ever ran. And jumping back here to the rear, I am running ADS triple bypasses now, in which I only paid $1,500 for these bypasses, this Icon hydro bump stop, and unfortunately the leaf springs I bought with these two did not work out. So I went and got the heavier pack Icon RXTs from a buddy of mine for $500, very cheap. And as you can see, I have a ton of clearance, all the clearance I really need. Still running the CVT awning and CVT mount hood. I love the tent. The awning sucks. I hate the legs. I'm considering switching up to a 270 very soon. And that 270 is really going to come in handy because I'm going to stop bringing a camp table now. I don't need to, and I'll show you why. So if you watched my build video for the rear high clearance bumper, you'll notice I said I got this tire gate completely for free. I had it at a buddy's shop. He said, take it, get it out of here. So I utilized it. I threw it on this high clearance bumper, in which Bailey, a good friend of mine with BLW Fabrication, welded up, running Heim joints into bung. Those are welded through. He extended the outside of this tire gate. And really, he only charged me material, which is very kind of him because he welds for a living. But this latch system, although a bit sticky right now, is simple. And this is the first run where I've actually gotten to bash this, and it's holding up pretty nicely. So we'll come back and open my bed up. I finally fixed this stupid leer latch. That was a pain in my butt. And my tailgate, I broke that also. But I got a deck system for $500. That's about as budget as it gets. I haven't seen them any cheaper than about $1,000 on Marketplace. And I saw this one. I told the guy, hold that for me. I'm coming right now. Picked it up, fit perfect. Keep all my tools in here. Over on this side, I just keep my miscellaneous camp stuff. I might take this side out for sitting down the road. The reason I want the 270 awning, I don't like this here, but I have a table and it's held on by these nuts, which I'm certain I'm going to lose. See, this is just a pain in the butt. But once they're off, table folds out nicely. And it would be very cool to have a 270 awning to swing out this way to cover me grilling here. I will do jerry can mounts back here so I can run a Dometic sink and have my grill here, whatever cooking contents I want to put here. But I'm obviously currently not covered. And yes, I will be putting a full-size spare on here soon. I just, I'm a little broke at the moment. It's almost Christmas, so we all need to save our money. As far as cost for this bumper goes, it was very cheap. Again, like I said, Bailey almost charged me nothing. He's a fabricator, but he's also a good friend of mine, so I helped him quite a bit. I learned a lot of welding, but overall, I spent about $500 on the bumper and roughly $200 to $250 on the swing out, being that the gate was free. I paid him for his time as well as some of this material. Like these extensions had to be made, the Heim joints, the bracket for the Heim joints. But other than that, very cheap on this bumper, less than $600-700, whereas these on, you know, any website, any fabricator that sells these for a living, they're charging up to $300 to $3,500. So I think I made a killer saving on that. And the sliders themselves, $340 for materials. Unfortunately, some of the steel shops in Tucson didn't have what I wanted, so I had to go to one of the more expensive ones. I could have saved a bit more money that way had they had it, but that's okay because it's still very budget. Overall, this is easily the best truck I've ever had. I love the power. I love that it has 430 gears. I could jump straight to 35s. You don't need to trim, you don't need to cut, no body mount chops with the Tundra going to 35s. Like, you know, you see that in question constantly on the Tacoma Facebook pages and forums. You know, can I stuff 35s? No, but you can on a Tundra. And I am still running the same tires, the Chinese Neo Maxes. They've been great. I'll probably get them again. I have no complaints other than they're loud. But as far as 35s go now, you're easily spending around $2,000 just to mount them and balance them. So I'm going to continue to go with these Chinese knockoffs, but I think they're just fine. Don't forget to keep searching for those Facebook Marketplace deals. They're out there constantly. I know these trucks are a bit less popular than the Tacomas and the 4Runners. It's like, I go online, my wife has a 4Runner, I can find her parts. I could have that truck built in a day, but for this truck, more or less, it's taken a year. I've had to do some of the fabrication custom myself, which is fine because it's a learning experience as well. I know a lot of you aren't gonna have access to that. I think the goal is to keep it budget, and when you keep it budget, sometimes that means do things yourself, resource them yourself, do what you can. But all in all, what I have into this truck is still less than 12,000, and it's basically built. Like I said, I've only bought brand new, the upper control arms, the RCI skid plate, and off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. Keep searching, guys, because you'll always find the budget stuff online. People just want to get rid of it. They want it out of their homes, and that's where you can take advantage of it for your Toyota Tundras. So if you're liking my build progress so far, you have any recommendations or what I should do next, please shoot it down in the comments. I'm curious to know what you guys think of my Tundra build at the moment. I've been a Tacoma guy for a long time. That sort of niche is pretty overcrowded now. The Tundras are not. So once again, I appreciate you watching this video. If you have any recommendations, like I said, please drop them in the comments. Give me a like and a subscribe, and join me on the next adventure up in these mountains.